The three Roberts dominate Crossfire, Mitchum, Young, and Ryan, but it was almost going to be two Bobs and a Dick headlining this picture. Dick Powell had starred in the two previous pictures made by the Crossfire team, Murder My Sweet and Cornered, and was expected to play the role of Captain Finley. When scheduling conflicts arose, Robert Young stepped in, on the condition that the film be completed in less than 24 days. He was making another picture for RKO at the same time, They Won't Believe Me, in which he has affairs with both Susan Hayward and Jane Greer. No wonder he wanted to wind up Crossfire in a hurry. Young's calm but steely performance certainly makes Captain Finley's sometimes heavy-handed moralizing go down a lot easier. And while Robert Ryan is galvanizing, completely undaunted by having to shoulder by himself the story's rancid burden, I've always been mesmerized by Robert Mitchum's laid-back turn as Sergeant Keeley. His crack that the snakes are loose has a timeless weariness that in 4 words offers heavy ballast to Captain Finley's homilies about brotherhood.
The snakes are loose. Anybody can get them. I get them myself. But they're friends of mine.
As was his way, Mitchum downplayed his performance in this film, saying any American actor could have played the part. True enough, but none of them could have played it like Robert Mitchum. Now, once Robert Young demanded a short shooting schedule, the production team replaced its usual director of photography, Harry Wild, with 63-year-old veteran J. Roy Hunt, who'd been making pictures since 1916 and earned a reputation as one of the fastest cameramen in the business. This is why he spent virtually his entire career in B pictures, where he brought pictorial panache to films that needed to be turned around in days, not weeks. Edward Dmytryk praised Hunt for his efficiency with the lighting setups, which enabled the crew to spend most of each day shooting scenes, not setting them up. And when he pitched this picture to his bosses at RKO, Adrian Scott stressed that he didn't feel the story was specifically about anti-Semitism. In a memo to Dory Sherry, Scott wrote, "This is a story of personal fascism as opposed to organized fascism. It indicates how it's possible for us to have a Gestapo if this country should go fascist. A character like Monty would qualify brilliantly for the leadership of the Belsen concentration camp. Fascism hates weakness in people and hates minorities. Monty hates fairies, Negroes, Jews, and foreigners. In the book, Monty murders a fairy. He could have murdered a Negro, a foreigner, or a Jew." Now, even as the picture reaped humanitarian awards, anti-communist crusaders quickly moved in on the filmmakers. Although Crossfire represented the production pinnacle for the team of Adrian Scott, Edward Dmytryk, and writer John Paxton, it would be the last film they'd make together. Scott and Dmytryk were accused of being communist sympathizers and were sent to jail as members of the Hollywood 10. Scott's dream of producing significant movies ended with this film. Following his release from prison, he ended up writing television scripts in the 1950s, but never under his own name, always using a front. Dmytryk, along with fellow director Elia Kazan, who'd helmed 1947's other attack on anti-Semitism, Gentleman's Agreement, became the most famous examples of blacklistees who bartered their way back into Hollywood by repudiating their one-time ties to the communists, and both of them fingering colleagues for federal investigators. Both men subsequently enjoyed long careers making pictures, but never completely lived down being tainted by their actions during the witch hunt. Writer-director Abraham Polanski, who was himself blacklisted, later told me of that era, "We each made our own choices, but we were all victims." It'd be nice to think we've learned something since 1947. Next week, we leave the message-making behind and head over to MGM, a place where noir was rarely welcomed, for an intriguing obscurity from 1951 that plumbs the darker aspects of the insurance racket. See you back here then for No Questions Asked. In the meantime, ask all the questions you want about Crossfire or anything noir-related by jumping into the conversation on our Noir Alley Facebook page or our Twitter feed. Till next time, see you in the shadows.